Hey folks, welcome back to Eddie Draws. This is episode 4, and today we'll be painting Gaius, the Dark Ranger. I'll also be talking about my life as an artist and what I get up to in my time. First, I'd just like to take a moment to thank my patrons this month, Imagination Overflow, Alex, John, Dezakt, and Shannon. Thank you so much folks, you're awesome. So, what have I been up to this month? Well, you might be able to hear, I've got a new microphone, thank God. The audio quality should be much better. I've also been working a lot on Orbo, the video game that I'm making. Been making these giant towers. You can see all the individual pieces of art on that big scrolling list there that go into these towers, and they're huge. That's taken a lot of time. I've also been working on the trash area of the game, which is sort of a hidden area, so I won't talk too much about it. I'm making this big claw that grabs the trash and a big chute that gets rid of it as well. I've also been working with a property investment firm in London, which is very different. I can't share much of this right now, but I will do in the future. It's a big animation of how they work and what their property company does. I've also been doing all these studies and sitting at my little desk and doing as much as possible. So what does my time look like as an artist? First of all, it starts with the calendar. Everything goes in here. All my commissions, all my projects, and even some of my free time I put into my calendar to make sure I do it. I'm really bad for not taking enough time for myself. So I just like to make sure that everything goes in here first. I'm sure a lot of you have commissioned me before, and you know that I send invites out so that you know as well what's going on. Sometimes things can be months in advance, so it's good to keep everyone informed. I also use Trello a lot. Trello is this board tool that you can put individual things on boards, keeps everything organised, and we use it for Orbo exclusively because there's so much to know. The coder puts all his bits and pieces on there, I put all mine on there, we share things, I learn how he does his job, he learns how I do my job. It's just a fantastic way of sharing information between us. So I think the best way to do this would just be to sort of talk about my day, standard day in the life of me. What do I do? So 6:50, wake up. Sort of a normal time. I'm not like a lazy artist that wakes up at midday every day. We walk the dogs, me and my partner Sarah. We walk Lucy and Morty around the local forest, get them bathroomed, feed them. Breakfast, and procrastinate for half an hour while I eat breakfast and watch podcasts or YouTube videos or something. And then by 9 AM I'm always drawing. I like to start my day with sketching usually. It just helps me personally wake my brain up, keep things moving. Usually I'll do something called gesture drawing, which is quick 1 minute, 2 minute poses. And there's videos online for that are really great for it. They swap every 30 seconds to a minute, and it lets you just quickly get the essence of a pose. So there's no messing around with trying to find references or anything, you just sit down and go. Once my brain is nice and awake, I'll sit down and look at my schedule. So my schedule is always filled, so I've always got something to look at and do. Let's pretend I'm drawing for the day, so I'll start drawing at maybe 9:30, 9:45 and work on that until midday. We usually have Morty for the lunchtime walk. Today he's actually with his favourite person in the world, who is his dog walker, who takes him once a week, and he interacts with a load of other dogs, so that's nice. And we get back from his walk usually about 1 o'clock, and I get back to work. I do tend to work quite late, so 6:30, 7 o'clock we have dinner. And I'm still working. I'll make dinner usually and then get back to it for maybe another hour and a half, 2 hours. So 8 o'clock is when I usually finish work, and then maybe 2 hours to decompress, watch some stupid stuff on Netflix, or maybe play some video games if I'm lucky. And that's usually about it. 10 o'clock, go to bed, wake up, do it all again the next day. I think that sort of is a pretty standard lifestyle for an artist these days that's working. Working late is often a sacrifice that you have to make as a self-employed person, simply because everything's on you. So all that time that you're making a product, you're not spent making decisions like when should I start my taxes, or how often should I be billing clients that have ongoing projects. All that sort of little nitty-gritty detail that gets lost. And I think that also speaks to a lot of the misconceptions that go around about being an artist. It's not all just sitting around and painting wonderful pictures all day. There's a lot of logistics and technical stuff involved. I owe my ability to do that thanks to the jobs that I held before I quit them and became a full-time artist like an idiot. I was a network coordinator for the University of Leeds for 3 years, and I ran a climate change network and a nanotechnology research project. So I had a lot of organisational experience from that, which carried over, thank God, because otherwise I would be lost. I think a lot of the variation that goes on with being an artist is overlooked too. The organisation is not just keeping 1 or 2 projects in line. You've really got to diversify yourself, unless you're someone like Peter Moorbacher or Kim Jung-ji. You're not going to get consistent work doing what you want to do. At least at the start, I've noticed you've got to take a lot of variation and diversify yourself to make sure that you're doing as much as possible to keep yourself employed. Orbo, unfortunately, doesn't pay yet. We've got to sell Orbo before I make any money, so I've got to keep myself going until then. Now, this isn't to say that I'm not a happy person. I'm just sort of saying that this is a really good classic overview of the lifestyle of artists. All over the place, chaotic, nervous a lot of the time, and constantly trying to find new ways of making money and finding time to do what I want to do, which is draw Dungeons and Dragons and armoured knights and sci-fi characters and all the good stuff that I would prefer to spend my days doing. But unfortunately, it's not always going to work out like that. So if you want to be a creative person in the future, or you are now, you'll know that it's not always about doing what you want to do. It's mostly about managing your time to do what you want to do. Saying that, there is some stuff in the process of being developed right now that I'll be announcing next month, so keep your eyes peeled. And thank you very much for watching. I hope this was somewhat interesting, and thank you very much.